Say a dark match and he...
Oh, no, careful.
I believe in Ireland.
Well, at least somebody does.
See, then I do the rest of the song, because they live in Mexico and Canada and Tokyo and all that, but I would substitute names of pubs in his local area.
That'd be great.
Get a mention of the Warwick in there as well.
To be in the Warwick, the King's Head, the boardroom too.
There we go.
So I just realised that I'm the only one that knows all the pubs in Carlisle.
You're going to need to give Phil the script for this one.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Conquistabores. This week on the Conquistabores, is the risk worth the reward as they tumble through Titan Towers for Money in the Bank 2020? Struggling to find the lift on the show tonight, King Euan Taylor, the almighty Cameron Phillips, the blue-collar brawler Phil Doyle, and hot sauce Geordie out of Melbourne. Only tonight on the Conquistabores.
Also, let's not forget, I get paid to write about wrestling football culture.
That is true.
I'm just going to insert like a clang sound effect as Cameron drops that there on us.
Clang! There we go.
Yeah. As of a couple months ago, I get paid to write about wrestling. And sometimes I write about wrestling and don't get paid in like publications such as Sickle Club.
Aren't we special? Yeah?
But it means I can do whatever I want for Sickle Club because they're quite...
I was going to say you could write about whatever you want as opposed to
Yeah.
appeasing the... not I say corporate masters, not really, but the guys that are paying you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's
only fair.
publishing. Basically, it's the same guys that do like Edge magazine.
Yeah,
We all get paid by Trump at the end, don't we? Yeah. That's
we already had that
global
discussion.
corporate force.
Phil, what do you reckon the odds are next year that we're going to get a WWE show live from the White House lawn on July 4th? Because it would be a Saturday.
I mean, I wouldn't say no, but it depends on how the next 6 months are going to go, I think.
What do you mean next 6 months? You mean next 6 weeks?
That's true. Depends how things go. So actually, you know what? We are going to impeach him.
I mean, he's already shagged the economy, so you know what else is he going to do? In fact, let's not tempt fate.
Let's not tempt fate.
No,
He'll just show up as like no, because if he gets caught into thing where he's actually going to court, he'll turn up as like a flipping like invalid, like Harvey Weinstein does. Where suddenly he's like aged 100 years in like 3 weeks, and he's got a cane and glasses and stuff.
It's amazing what prosthetics will do to you.
Yeah. Speaking of prosthetics,
good evening.
Hello, people.
Oh,
Speaking of prosthetics. Hi, Al.
Hello. Sorry, the volume's not the best on this.
but it doesn't sound like you're at a bus stop, so I'm counting it as a win.
Well, just
never mind.
it's not
You know what? The bus
Never
stop.
mind. Ding ding.
Diddle-a-diddle-a-diddle. I'm gonna dig that out now. I'm sure I still got that when I did the CBeebies theme for him.
Who's your pick for tomorrow? I'm just doing.
I don't look.
Film.
I don't look until the day,
All right. Okay.
the most special day tomorrow.
Yes.
You are screwing with tradition, Euan, by asking him in advance.
I'm very sorry.
On another note, I've got a special package.
Oh baby.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh baby.
Oh no.
For £85,
Oh Jesus. Okay.
it is my Newcastle United Caribou Cup final top.
Oh my
Well.
goodness. me.
I didn't know you'd played, Al.
Hey.
Yeah. Champions 2025. I'm very
So-
pleased with that.
So you and the rest of Newcastle have bought at least one shirt recently, then.
Yep. There we go. That's very good. I've enjoyed that.
quid though. Jesus.
I know.
We saw him coming.
Is the oil money not enough?
Oh.
I definitely don't think I'm the only person to buy it, but there
Oh
you
no,
go.
no! I think they've done very well.
No, I've done very well.
Are we ready to begin, lads?
I think we're ready to the podcast. Everyone's here.
No problem. I've got to give me Dad a call because he's rang. So give me just start. And I'll be on like 3 minutes or something.
All right, no worries.
Okay, speak to you soon.
Yeah, 'cause, you know why would you know?
I like how he rushes us to start and then all of a sudden he has to disappear.
Well, I
It's
was.
like, are we starting? Yeah, we're all here. I've got to go call my dad. Bye.
Well, it's probably just to tell me what horses he wants for tomorrow. Okay, but anyway,
Fair
I
enough.
won't be long.
Can you ask him his opinion of Money in the Bank 2020?
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
I'll see you soon. Okay.
All right. Bye bye.
He didn't say
Well,
no, did he?
He's
hung
actually
up as well.
gone.
He's actually
Yes,
gone.
wow.
Yeah.
He's
All right. Speaking of strange times in history, which seems to be every single time we record this fucking podcast. Last month what did we review last month? I don't remember.
SummerSlam 93?
4.
SummerSlam 92. Totally.
I knew it was 2. I was just being an asshole. So last year.
I
Fuck,
literally didn't.
I'm doing well. So last month we went back to 1992, and controversially, I decided that we were going to go all the way back to 5 years ago, to a dark time where nobody went outside because we legally couldn't.
None of these men nor women can be prepared.
We've never seen this kind of Money in the Bank ladder match ever.
The ladders and the briefcases that hold the contract will be on the roof of WWE headquarters.
The risk is indeed worth the reward.
The most unique Money in the Bank match in WWE history. This is huge.
Welcome to WWE Global Headquarters. Tonight, home to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Please proceed to the elevator. Going up to Ultimate Chaos. First stop, Impossible Odds.
It is all about Money in the Bank. We will fight from the ground floor all the way to the roof of corporate headquarters.
Next stop, Unpredictable Opponents.
6 men, 6 women, all willing to risk it all.
Ready for more? Here we have never-before-seen obstacles.
Men and women will compete at the very same time. Can you imagine the carnage?
This is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before.
On this ride, in this building, you must fight through every obstacle, every opponent, every floor, to take this once-in-a-lifetime risk for the ultimate reward.
The risk is worth the reward at Money in the Bank.
Your climb up the corporate ladder starts now. Going down.
I would say it's 5 years ago, but it's also like a whole other time ago. Like,
Yeah.
It makes no sense when you go back to it.
Yeah.
Like when you see something back into how we had to live during that time, it makes no sense and it doesn't seem real. So even though it's only 5 years ago, this seems like it's 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like it just seems completely outside of like everything else now.
It does seem like a broadcast from like an alternative universe.
It really does.
It's
It really
weird.
does.
So this event was meant to broadcast from the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, but then a pesky global pandemic happened, and that put paid to that. So,
Now, you might say it was pesky, but it got us back on our schedule, though, didn't it? Remember?
I mean, there was one thing that came from it.
Well, yeah.
One thing came from it. So this left WWE in a bit of a difficult situation. They had a show to prepare. However, they had no venue, no way to get any fans to the venue, and realistically, no way to make this work. But in times of past where WWE or F have had trouble and strife, what do? They rely just do stuff at home. So, this month, we are going to look at Money in the Bank 2020, broadcasting live from the beautiful, gorgeous WWE Performance Center and Titan Towers.
Ooh.
Sort of broadcast between Orlando, Florida, and Stamford, Connecticut, isn't it?
Correct. As Phil already alluded to, this entire show feels like it's happened in a different vacuum of time.
It's so weird.
It's so weird, but as we'll get to, it's actually a very, very fun show.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's just bizarre. though.
Because how many shows do they do? Because this is from the Performance Center, isn't it?
I think
like
they
you
do
said.
5,
Yeah.
and then we get to the Thunderdome.
I couldn't remember when the Thunderdome was. SummerSlam 2020 from the Thunderdome.
I think it was. Let me just check. I'm on Wikipedia
I
right
just remember
now.
they got the Thunderdome in for 2020's SummerSlam. Because that too was like,
Yep. The Thunderdome was the first show. The Thunderdome was main. It was SummerSlam 2022. 20 even. Fucking hell. with the tagline,
Yeah,
"You'll never see it coming." Well, ain't that the fucking truth?
Well,
Nobody will see it coming. We all just sit at home.
But WrestleMania was like last minute. We got to do something because
yeah, that was like an emergency.
WrestleMania was the eponymous "fuck it, we'll do it live" because they had no choice.
they had no choice. But by this point, where like I say, we're into a kind of a groove with them doing it from this venue, aren't we? I think at this point.
I mean, they've been doing Raw and SmackDown from it, yes, I guess, but still, it feels like they're still trying to work out the kinks.
Yeah, because it's still like you got a bunch of wrestlers in an empty room with a really echoey empty room with no people. It's so weird.
Apart from a tables full of very excited grown men shouting at the top of their lungs to no one.
Because am I right? At the same time, AEW was basically stuck in Jacksonville in the whatever
Daly's
that
place.
arena was.
Yeah.
Daly's place, that's it. But they had, because they had a group of people there, they had like 3 or 4 or 5 wrestlers dotted around the outside, didn't they? So they were kind of like, there was some other noise going on.
They had people that were wrestling in dark and dark elevation, so they at least had some semblance of a crowd, but
yeah,
that's being kind, but at least they had something, whereas WWE were basically doing their matches in what essentially would be a surgical room.
Yeah.
Like it was deathly quiet.
So weird.
Yeah. We'll get to it's very, very odd. So we are coming from Orlando, Florida, the WWE Performance Center with the giant fan of Doom.
Yeah.
That fan.
May the 10th, I think, if I remember right.
Yes, it's May the 10th, 2020.
Yep. One of the best workers on the show, to be honest, that fan. It doesn't give up the entire time.
Nope.
It's got some engine in it. It doesn't stop, does it? It's going the whole show.
It has to in this Florida heat.
That's true.
That's very true. I'm going to start off with not a dark match because this did not have a dark match. To be fair, all of these matches were dark because there's nobody there.
That's true. They are all the dark matches.
There you go. So the pre-show match was Jeff Hardy pinning Cesaro in 13 minutes 30 seconds with a Swanton Bomb. Apparently it was good. I didn't watch it.
Brilliant.
It is not on Netflix.
It is not on Netflix. Our actual opening match of the evening is a fatal 4-way tag team match, my favourite combination, for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships with the defending champions The New Day, consisting of Big E and Kofi Kingston, versus John Morrison and The Miz, versus Lucha House Party, consisting of Gran Metalik and Lindsay Dorado, and the Forgotten Sons, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, with some cunt.
It's something of an irony, by the way, that I started watching this and I went, oh, I forgot about them.
Yeah. At the time they were wrestling, people would consistently forget about them. Like Brian Alvarez would consistently forget who the Forgotten Sons were, what their names were on a regular basis.
So sad.
Then I'm thinking, if I have actually forgotten about the Forgotten Sons, is that irony or is that just a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Well, I mean, given what
I wasn't meaning to Alanis Morissette this whole thing.
No, but
like,
it's happened.
Well, I would lay that at the feet of Yon Nasty Boy, Jackson Riker, the right-wing douchebag. He kind of ruined it for the other guys.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
well, yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah, he just ruined it.
Are we going there before we talk about this actual match?
Let's get it out of the way with, Cameron. I believe you've got an article you wish to read from.
Yeah, I've just been Googling before we came on here. I am on itrwrestling.com. I have to give them the credit for this one. There's an article here by Craig Ballantyne from the 30th of February 2022. Jackson Riker comments on controversial 2020 tweet. I said nothing wrong.
Oh, boy.
So the article carries on. The tweet here is from June the 1st, 2020. It's like, thankful for the POTUS we have. God bless America, built of freedom, forgotten no more.
Wow.
Oh, there's a number of things wrong with that, but never mind.
And he says, well, yeah, June the 1st, 2020, sent at 7:52 p.m. I just moved into my new house here in Mooresville, North Carolina. You know, we've all got our own views on who it is anytime there's a president, there's a leader, or that's what makes America great. That's why I served 4 years in the Marine Corps so I could tweet my own approval for a certain president. It wasn't one of those where I was trying to bash anyone else. I was simply putting up my support for a president that I thought was doing a good job for the country. Gas prices were down, unemployment was down, jobs were up. That's what unemployment being down means, you knob. There was also much going on. The economy was flourishing. You can do studies and look at it. Yeah, at least someone tries it. That was basically just my tweet to show my support. But the funny thing is, prior to that, Lord, I was looking through some history of things. I would tweet or Instagram certain things about Donald Trump. But for some reason that day, and I believe you touched on it before we started, some things were going on in America at the time. I tweeted my support for him before. And he blah, 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 blah. To me, there was nothing wrong with that tweet. There was no racial undertones. There were no jabs. Nothing but me saying, God bless America, and thankful for the President of the United States that we had at the time.
Now, Cameron, the small event that he's referring to that might have happened, would this involve a certain Mr. Floyd and his untimely demise?
Yeah, well, it skips over the fact that he did call Black Lives Matter a terrorist group.
There we go.
So maybe, just maybe, that kind of did him in.
That was never going to go down well, regardless of how he was trying to fluff it up.
Yeah.
No. I think when you start calling, that's what it is. Anyway.
Yes.
So just to confirm, he was was it in May, this show?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
May, and your boy, Jackson Riker, I've lost it now. When did he get booted out? It was November the 18th.
There we go.
So he lasted to the end of the year, pretty much.
They kind of stuck around for a little while, didn't they? And then, just kind of, it got taken off TV, and then, weirdly, they were forgotten.
I always liked Wesley Blake, because he was obviously part of BAMF, Blake and Murphy with what's her face?
What with Alexa Bliss? Yeah, within NXT. They were good. They were really good.
They were a cracking little team. And obviously, Wesley Blake is, he's done had a good decent role in AEW, so he was good. And Wesley Blake deserved a little bit, and I think they were just starting to get traction, and that came out, and then
that was the end of that.
That was the end of that, and they all got released. It's like, oh, thanks, fella. Thanks for tweeting that one.
You may have already made this point, but put the pay-per-view on and went, the Forgotten Sons. What a apt name. Because I had no idea who they were. No idea who they were.
Nailed it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No.
Yeah. My other thought at the start of this was, I miss Big E Langston so much.
Oh, people at home! Don't you dare be sour! Clap for your world-famous 8-time champs and feel the power! It's a new day. Yes, it is.
We all do. I mean, I've got his opening lineup. Oh, people at home. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to be called Langston anymore.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going out there. Oh, I also forgot that Miz and Morrison were a thing for a while as well.
Oh, no, I remember that.
Yeah, Morrison came back, and then it was just like...
they were a team,
with Miz again.
Yeah, they were Team Douche. I don't know what their actual name was.
The Team Douche.
What they were called.
I don't know why. Also, how tremendously problematic was the presentation of the Lucha House Party?
As I put in the Discord in the run-up to us doing this record tonight, I think there's something to be said about the presentation of lucha wrestlers of Mexican origin. From the Lucha House Party to the introduction that Penta got on Raw.
Penta was just like a god when he appeared.
Yeah, and I would imagine also the one that Rey Fenix is going to get tonight on SmackDown.
Oh, yeah. But is that tonight?
That's tonight.
I might actually need to watch SmackDown for the first time in a long time.
And by this point, they'd had their fingers burned with the guy who just kept getting himself injured and falling over things. I forgot what his name was.
Sin Cara.
Sin Cara, yeah. They kind of they were, we got a new Rey Mysterio, and he just basically,
It was 9 years beforehand, though. That's
I was going to say, that was a decade ago.
And they changed his identity, didn't they?
Well, yeah, that too.
I did quite like the Lucha House Party's logo being done like the In Your House logo.
Yeah, it was just like it was like everything else like I make lazy and like half-assed.
I quite like the logo, but other than that, yeah, it is like they were never going to get more than this on the card, were they?
No,
the guys?
No. This was as high as they were going to go, which is ironic given it's Money in the Bank, but never mind.
Yeah. Other favorite point of the intro, Biggie just launching his jacket at Corey Graves.
Yeah, that I approved of. I applauded that.
You could just hear the pop of Corey Graves' headset come flying off.
Tonight, because remember, it's being competed under fatal four-way rules, which means there'll be two men in the ring. And Corey almost got knocked off his chair here as Big E tossed his jacket to ringside. Nonetheless,
it's like it happened, and like they talk about it. I was like, I must have missed that, and I kind of knocked it back a few seconds. And Big E, he doesn't do it by mistake. He winds up his throat.
He's meaning every part of that. That was going to hit him.
He's got eyes lasered on Corey's face with this jacket, and it's a big jacket that Big E's got, isn't it? It's not big boy.
It's not light.
You're going to feel that, and he launched that thing across the arena. Fair play to him.
Another point before we get to this match. This was within the first 10 minutes of this show, I noticed And I have to give him his props here. How much Michael Cole's improved on commentary now he hasn't got Vince shouting down his ear all the time.
It's funny how removing one negative aspect allows somebody to
Weird,
actually
that isn't it?
perform like a human,
Yeah, it's just like Michael Cole sounds like he's
not suicidal.
literally under the cosh in this. Whereas now on Raw, he sounds great. You know what I mean?
That's because he was literally under the
wouldn't
cosh. He
have
had
thought
Vince shouting in his ear for an entire evening.
But it was just like, holy moly, yeah, that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Completely.
Al, I'm interested in what you thought of the venue, given this is a very, very different world.
What, the silence?
Yes, the silence.
It was like because you can hear the wrestlers. Like I couldn't catch them calling spots or anything, but you hear them like breathing heavy and grunting and stuff, which is you don't quite hear that much during normal matches.
No.
And then
No,
it was occasionally you got the commentary team echoing the arena, which I found odd.
Yeah.
I remember not minding it. I remember really enjoying WrestleMania just before it, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And I guess, to be fair, there's nothing else they could do. They tried to keep the show going anywhere they can, and that was the tools they had available to them. And it's not terrible. I like the idea of the Thunderdome. Again, it's not perfect, but I can see why they did it. But I watched the video the other day about the bloody people kept putting pictures of Chris Benoit up.
Yeah,
There's some terrible people in the world, you know, yeah.
To be fair, that's probably not the worst thing somebody could have put on that.
Did anyone apply to be on Thunderdome?
I tried a couple times and never got through.
And the amount of shit you had to sign and tick
I know.
box that you won't do. They got wise to the whole Chris Benoit thing real quick. There was a caveat saying you can be booted off at a second's notice and then you won't get back in.
I mean, when you've got
So
almost a row entirely made out of Chris Benoit, that's a problem on the hard camera side. It's just like, whoever you are out there, well done. But still, no, come on. Do better.
As we'll get to later on at WrestleMania as well, it gives them a little bit more license to be creative because you had the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse. I can't say it. Firefly. I can't say it.
The Firefly Funhouse match.
The Firefly Funhouse. Right, we got that.
Yay!
There's a match I've never seen before, which I believe is a pay-per-view after this, which is like a haunted swamp match or something.
Oh
yes.
Is it? Could anyone tell me if that was good? I thought I'd never watched it.
It was quite fun.
No.
So I might go and watch it. I might go and watch it after this, but it gives them a bit more license to get a bit more creative, sort of thing.
But I feel like with this kind of the environment, I think at the time, wasn't it like NWA Power was the one that kind of got everybody kind of gravitated towards because they kind of lent into that old style WCW NWA TV studio environment, didn't they?
That got me interested in it as well. The fact and that they were broadcasting it live on YouTube, so that helped.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, it was free on YouTube. So just it was cracking.
Because obviously, you kind of like you seen like wrestling in a TV studio. That's I think where. Even though we probably may not necessarily see that much over here, but I think that's where the kind of thing goes back to. It's that old style.
Yep.
Like BT Sports were doing it, so weren't they, for the WWE UK stuff? They had it in like a TV studio.
Yeah, they had it in where they would have like the Champions League coverage or whatever.
Yeah,
like the
so you still don't have a crowd, but it still had that kind of like you could still kind of recognize it as wrestling you've seen in the past. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely harkened back to that.
But just that silence where it's just you just hear the wrestlers just grunting at each other. It's just so weird.
What do? How does the New Day keep their tag team gold?
Well, the New Day want to be involved at all times because you'd hate to see them, well, I'd personally love to see them lose the titles without even being defeated for them.
And here's Kingston, the very athletic former WWE champion. Grand Metalik is king of the ropes.
Yeah, to get back to this match, because we seem to just...
We're gonna do this a lot tonight, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because like it's so different from everything else, isn't it? So it's really hard to kind of focus on the match. You just kind of like... I can hear Kofi having a chat to Big E at the ringside. What's going on? This is insane.
It does kind of feel like you're watching a video game.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
kind of thing. An incomplete video game where it's bugged out and the audio is gone.
Wait, you mean AEW Fight Forever?
No.
Oh, harsh. I didn't mind Fight Forever. I
didn't either. It was just like it was not as good as it could have been.
The Stadium Stampede mode was good. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just make the point. This first match, I really think they should have made it. In fact, I'm pretty sure they didn't. They didn't make the elimination match, did they?
No, it was just first.
It was hard because there were so many people lying around
Yes.
You know,
Gonna lie
I
down.
was
Yeah.
trying to work out what there was. That's my. I'm going to get this out of the way as well. My bugbear of these matches is there's too many people lying around because now you can't have multiple people fighting. They're just, two people are fighting, then someone gets thrown out the ring, and the other one will join in, and then you've got to have this convoluted spot where everybody is lined up on the outside for people to run and dive at you. You know, it's like every
There
one
are
of
times
these
that me and
matches.
Al are on the exact same wavelength because as I've got older, I've grown to detest multi-man matches.
I'm not a fan either.
Done
Not
on
a
them
fan.
all. How many other matches do you see 5 people just standing around
And think about waiting for
on
somebody
the
to launch
floor,
themselves at
yeah.
them.
And they're swinging punches and kind of looking over their shoulder at the same time. Like, wait, it's a bit to the left, bit to the left, bit
Yeah.
to the right.
Yeah.
It's been done to death, that's the problem. Yeah, the first few times you see it done's great, but it's just been done far too many times to be effective, I feel.
Like Al said, there was a lot going on in this match.
It's a lot going on, but it's difficult to get invested in anything because
Agreed.
no one can really get any kind of like headway until there has to be someone else comes in and takes over.
I'm going to put this out there as well, did you really buy any of the other teams as challengers? I mean, you could argue Miz and Morrison, but the other two weren't winning it, were they?
I would have preferred to just have Miz and Morrison versus the New Day.
Yeah,
I'm
great.
not even sure who
That'd
else
been
was
great.
around in the tag team at this time.
In SmackDown, oh God, I'd have to do some research.
Would the bar have
Yeah,
been
I'd have
around,
to
like Cesaro?
Google
Oh, I guess if he was on the Dark Show, probably not. Like, just
They were on Raw, were they
I
not?
remember
They were on Raw. Yes, Cesaro was Raw.
Let's not forget the tag team titles were defended at WrestleMania in a singles ladder match.
That's very true. That is very true.
I've completely forgotten about that. Good lord, yes.
The irony of the winning team winning them in a ladder match to then defend them on the pay-per-view that is all about ladder matches.
No.
Very curious. Very curious.
It's also just the confusing thing of like it's got 4 teams, but it's not DQ. Is it DQ?
You can't really DQ anyone in the fatal 4-way.
Yeah, because Jackson, your right winger gets ejected, doesn't he? Towards the end of the thing, because he's
That's not the first.
Yeah.
It's not the first time he'll experience that feeling.
yeah, starts getting involved in something he shouldn't have done and gets himself ejected with his pals. It's like, oh, well done. How prescient.
He was merely supporting the president that he voted.
That's all he was doing.
Sure.
The ending doesn't even seem very hot either. Like
No,
there's
it's
no
not
hot
just like
finishing
ended.
sequence. I don't know if it's because there was no crowd or anything, but the finishing sequence just seemed to be very. Oh! It's done.
I still maintain. I still maintain that even without a crowd, you should still be able to get to a finish that is engaging for anyone that's watching, regardless if they're there in person or watching on TV.
Well, we'll get to it later, but there's another match seems to have a finish just come out of nowhere as well. So I don't know if again it's because there's no audience reaction, but we'll get to that later on in the show, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I guess that's a difficulty I think for a lot of people in the entire show is they've never had to wrestle in this kind of environment. They've wrestled in the performance center, but it's always been people and it's always been that overriding sort of den of noise. Whereas this is like wrestling in a petri dish in a laboratory.
Yeah, good analogy.
Because you can still see them kind of like at times, kind of like just they're kind of looking for something from the crowd, aren't they? They're kind of looking out the ring.
Yeah, they're trying to look to the crowd like normally. Oh shit, there's no one here.
It's just cameramen.
It's like they're just doing exactly as they would do if there was a crowd there. You know what I mean? I think the biggest one is coming up in a little minute where R-Truth does his "What's Up" thing.
Oh, poor R-Truth.
Like, I mean, it's not the saddest example of this. The saddest example was like the one where they had Stone Cold come in for Stone Cold Day for 316.
Yes.
And do the whole Stone Cold thing in an empty room.
To crickets.
That was the saddest thing ever.
That match Stone Cold gets up every morning, but that's just me.
But close to that, surely it's got to be Big Drew winning the belt at WrestleMania, and like,
oh, that was the saddest thing ever.
Nobody there.
We'll get to Drew later on in the show.
We will get to Drew later.
I'm just gonna say, in certainly in McIntyre's case, surely it was best to have won it than never to have won it at all. Because he never seems to be on that level since then, does he? So
no, there's some other guy that I don't know what his name is, Reigns something.
Stories to finish or whatever.
Yeah, we'll talk about Drew and Drew at this time when we get to the title match later on, I think.
What is the finish?
You're right. Let's wrap up this.
It's a big ending, isn't it?
He pins down Metalik.
Yeah, it's a big ending. There you go.
It's a big ending. We pins down Metalik.
He does the Cena spot, doesn't he? He does the Cena spot where he catches him in a crossbody and lifts him up from the mat.
Oh, yeah.
Which is quite
I
impressive.
forget how like brutally strong Big E is.
Absolutely.
Well, that was his gimmick, wasn't it? When he had like
That's
the chalk
right.
on his hands
Oh,
when
that's
he
a
first
deep cut,
started,
Al.
didn't he?
Oh,
With
wow,
Dolph
I forgot
Ziggler.
about that.
Team Rocket.
Jeez. There you go.
But yeah, big ending, and I thought it was somebody's going to come and break it up. And we're going to have 27 finishes in a row, but no, I think Kofi hits his kick on the other guy, and then it's the pin, and then that's it. Really,
about 12 minutes that match was, I think.
It went, 12 minutes or so. But yeah, it was for an opener. It was serviceable. It had its problems, but I enjoyed it.
Competent enough, but difficult to give a fuck about.
Exactly. On the subject of giving a fuck about things, a commercial then aired for a comedy called The Undertaker's Last Ride.
Did it?
I didn't see this either. That's why I'm.
I was going to say this is not on Netflix.
Is he on the Cambodian WWE network?
I don't know if I did that. I probably got on some kind of list.
Cambodian.
I mean, that's like, is it not like Cambodia and some other like obscure country that's still got it?
Germany?
Really?
Germany has it not?
Netflix in Germany doesn't have WWE. It's still WWE Network in Germany.
Oh. All right. Well, maybe it's
set your VPNs, folks.
Use coupon code. We don't have a coupon for a VPN. Although if people want to do that, call us.
Email me.
Anyway, we get some Lacey Evans thing. Don't care.
Recording it on a phone at home, yeah.
An absolute charisma vacuum that Lacey Evans is. Oh,
yes.
Christ.
But the finisher had a good name, though, wasn't it?
The Women's Right.
Yeah, she just punched with the right hook and be called the Women's Right. I quite like the name of that. Like, I dug that.
Simple.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. It's easy to do. But my God. I think the problem with Lacey Evans is when she came up from NXT, she was this military, like,
they brought her heel.
She was like, she was in the Marines and she was this and the next thing. She was American and all this kind of, and she was supposed to get cheered. Folk hated her because she's awful. So then they tried to turn that into a heel thing, and then
like
folks hated her.
Southern Dame kind of thing, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was like a Southern belle. And
is she still employed?
No, she's long since gone.
She's long ago. I thought I hadn't seen her for a while.
She's away.
I don't know if it's one of those people, like, she probably needed to spend like another 2-3 years like fermenting down in NXT before she kind of came up.
That is actually an amazing term, fermenting. I like that. But it makes sense. Like, some people just need a bit more time in the oven to cook.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Or in Lacey Evans' case, just to like a new character.
A new recipe.
Some people need more time to cook and join the dole queue.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of R-Truth,
we
then get him, as I say, doing his WhatsApps to an empty arena.
No. Hold on. We've missed the Drew McIntyre promo.
Oh, so we have, I've got here a champion Drew. Is Drew an underdog? ? And Drew will welcome Seth to Claymore Country.
Yeah.
I forgot that Claymore Country was even a term they used.
They also got out all of the mothers at Mother's Day.
Yeah. See, that's why I wanted to get it edited
So
ahead of last week, because that would have been like good timing for it.
But
that would also, watching it would have freaked me out because it's Americans Mother's Day, which is later in the year.
Right.
So I would have been like, oh my God, have I forgotten about it? And then, no, because it was like.
Do America have different Father's Day?
I
think so. Oh, wait, is it?
I'm not sure.
Is Father's Day the same day in America as it is in the
I'm not sure.
Spain do, if that helps, Cam.
That does help. Thank you, Alan.
All right. Thanks, Al.
Yeah.
There we go.
But like, R-Truth doing this What's Up thing, like, that fits his character. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no, he 100%. He 100% believes the arena's full.
People over there, what's up? You feel me? Say what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
I was gonna say, if anyone gets away with pretending there's people in a room that's empty, it's R-Truth.
It's R-Truth.
Oh, he's 100% in his head. He can see an audience. That's the whole thing, isn't it?
What would have made this better if he went to the barrier and like tried to give?
Try high five people.
No, if he went to the barrier and tried to give like a bit of his merchandise to little Jimmy,
just dropped it on the floor,
like the Hitman glasses.
Yeah, like Hitman style. Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been amazing. Also, shout out to the one and only Samoa Joe in commentary here.
Oh, Samoa Joe in commentary, man.
It took me about 3 or 4 minutes to work out with Samoa Joe. I don't know.
Really?
I just missed him getting introduced. I was like, who the fuck's that? I was like, oh, fuck, Samoa Joe. who, bless him, today has announced that he won't sign a new contract.
I am not surprised. He's under his retirement.
Oh yeah, Christ. So
Yeah,
he's
he's still going after
Joe.
that. Even after that, what was it? TNA did that splash onto concrete on the outside of the ring in the auditorium. Like, should have retired at that point because that surely is going to do you in.
I will still maintain Samoa Kenta Kobashi is one of the greatest matches I've ever watched. If you've never watched it, seek it out. It is a good one.
The thing that I love, and not only is that match brilliant, by the way, but the thing I love is Kenta Kobashi's absolute surprise, pleasant shock, I will go as far to say, that the Ring of Honor crowd love him.
Oh, they also know who he is.
Apparently he genuinely thought that
he's going to get crickets.
He didn't know that like tape trading was a thing.
Oh.
And he genuinely thought that people wouldn't have a fucking clue who he was outside Japan.
Oh, little did they know.
So when he walks through that curtain and folks
the place
start
goes
cheering
thermonuclear,
and throwing the streamers,
yep.
The smile on his face is genuine surprise, apparently.
260 pounds, Kobashi!
And then he proceeds to commit unarmed murder.
Yeah, and then it's like fucking.
That was so nice. Let's get to the murder.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
So from Kenta Kobashi to R-Truth, I never thought I'd say that.
It's a small leap, isn't it? Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit of a downhill, but never mind. Yeah, he's sort of thinks he's wrestling MVP.
Yep.
But he's badly mic'd for a start too.
Yeah, there's a mic not working very well.
Surely this match could have took place 10 years ago.
Well,
that is true.
Yeah, I forgot this is. You forget how long Lashley'd been back in.
Well, I was thinking the MVP versus R-Truth, but yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, well that could have happened 10 years previous. Yeah, definitely. And then it's a squash match because R-Truth gets pinned after a spear, basically.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley appears, kills, and does it.
He does a weird promo at the start and somehow accidentally slaps Lashley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Bobby says to MVP, you can have a night off, and he kind of goes off. And then Lashley kind of is looking at R-Truth, and R-Truth's like, you can have a night off too, Bobby. You can have a night off too.
Well, hey, appreciate it. I'm going to take a night off too, Bobby. Thank you. Whoa, man, look. How come he get the night off, dog, and I don't get the night off? Bro, there's a whole big world out here.
It's like, I don't want to die. No, please no.
I'm sorry. And he just gets massacred by a spear, and we're done, aren't we?
Yeah, it's like 1 minute 40, mercifully quick. It was really just the vehicle for Bobby Lashley is a big, strong man and will murder people.
He's a big, strong boy, isn't he?
He is.
No, he is.
Lashley no more, is he?
No,
Lashley's in
AEW
with the MVP, ironically enough.
MVP as the Hurt Syndicate, not the Hurt Business.
No,
I did know
legally
that.
Distinct, like that.
And they are with Shelton Benjamin as well.
Yep.
And they would probably be with Cedric Alexander because now he's a free agent. But Cedric Alexander's wife had a big old spat with Tony Khan about 4 years ago.
Oh yeah,
I don't think Cedric Alexander's gonna get the gig.
I'm gonna go with no on that one.
Yeah, I think his wife is she didn't know at the time, but she's probably fucked over Cedric Alexander's career.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty much, unfortunately, he's been blackballed through his significant other. So
his associations, yes.
Yes, yay for that.
We get a promo from King Corbin after this.
Yes, we do, where he comes up with the line, "The risk is worth the reward."
That is the catchphrase of the night, isn't it?
Yep.
Just going to put it out there. I think Baron Corbin's one of the guys I feel sorry for the most because he did all the crap they put in front of him, and he did it pretty well, and he never got treated very well, I've always felt.
Yeah.
Especially during when he was the GM of Raw, everybody hated him, and it was like, but that's kind of the point of what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I was going to say he's meant to be an asshole because that's his character.
He was like, "Oh, I hate him. He's terrible." He's like, "Yeah, but that's kind of what he's supposed to be right now."
What did he have? He had that gimmick of Lucky Corbin or something, wasn't
yes,
it?
when he's
Lucky Corbin, he was
Corbin came up. Sad Corbin.
He lost all his money and he was
Sad
sad Corbin,
Corbin.
wasn't he? And he just had like the
He
really
was-
long beard and just dishevelled.
He was King Corbin, of
King
course.
Corbin
Yeah.
during this time. In NXT, he was the Lone Wolf.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that was a
because
good gimmick. I
won-
like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he won the Battle Royal with, didn't he? When he near his debut, it might have even been his debut at WrestleMania. Yeah,
It was indeed his main roster debut.
I always liked it, like his entrance, all the lights came down on him.
Yeah.
All the kind of spotlights. And he was like, because he was in that kind of golden NXT period at the beginning, wasn't he? But he was one of
Yes.
those, I think we talked about it before, where he had the non-DQ match with no disqualifications in it at all. So he always kind of felt like he was kind of overshadowed by the other guys he was around with. But like you said, like he did everything he put in front of him, he did to the best of his abilities and got most of it over. And they just kind of went nearby, and he's gone now.
Yep.
He's off indie sort of thing. So
I think he's making a bit more of a name for himself now. Obviously, is it Tom Pestock?
Yes.
His real name. He's
Yep.
occasionally wrestled under, but it's Bishop Dyer is his kind
Yeah.
of new wrestling persona that he's got.
He was meant to be appearing in New Japan, and then I think some people in the locker room went, no.
that's a shame.
And that was very much Ixnayed.
Oh, shit.
So
Okay.
I don't know if something will change in the future, but apparently he was meant to be coming in at some point, and apparently that got poo-pooed on.
Excuse me,
So,
lads. I'm just off to change my latest What Culture article because there was a little bit of that on there.
Get some commission off him for that. You should.
I'll take 10p, thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay.
So we cut from King Corbin to Bailey walking backstage with her title with her good pal and not frenemy Sasha Banks.
It's the role model. I don't think they are the role models yet, are they? The golden role models, but they're not. It's not too far.
No, they're not.
Because you forget as well, like these were like these two kind of. They did like a lot of the heavy lifting during this whole lockdown period. Didn't
God,
they?
yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. There's a few people who pretty much carried WWE through this pandemic era. And Bailey and Sasha Banks were two of them.
Yeah.
I'd argue Drew as well.
Oh God, yeah.
Completely, yeah.
Who absolutely carried, this as
Well,
champion.
he saw what the cards that were later, and he went, you know what? I'm going to make this fucking work and make it the best I possibly can, and he did.
Exactly. I mean, I think that Sasha and Bailey were absolute gold together. I can't remember, was it Hell in a Cell later on down the line where they had that Hell in a Cell match against each other?
I think it was.
I
I think it was. Let me just.
That was bloody good, that Hell in a Cell match. I remember that being in Thunderdome as well.
Yeah, that was a Thunderdome one for sure.
Because I think people were worried about heel Bailey because, like, obviously, she's what was he called? Like Joan Cena, wasn't it? Her kind of the kind of name sort of thing. But like, it's so weird. I remember she did a Snickers commercial where she was like she was being hangry because she hadn't eaten the Snickers, but she was so good.
Like Mr. T.
Yes, basically, yeah.
Are you hugging kidding me? I don't give a hug. Bailey does not get bumped from a talk show. It's unhugging believable.
Look, we ran over time. We sincerely apologize for everything.
Oh, you apologize. Well, I'm sorry too. I'm sorry. You're a hugging buffoon. Get out of here. Go hug yourself. Ugh. Are you hugging filming me? Hug you. Ah, so mad. Ah.
Snickers satisfies.
She was like, just kept throwing Snicker bars in some guy's face during the thing, and I was like, man, if she could do that as a gimmick, that'd be awesome. And that's basically what she did here with this kind of, the role model character.
So I can confirm Sasha Banks defeated Bailey in a Hell in a Cell match to win the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell 2020 in the Thunderdome.
Hey, there you go. So that must have been
October
about 5 months.
25th.
I was going to say, because we'll get to Hell in a Cell 2020 a little bit later on in the show.
We shall. Foreshadowing.
But what do we think about the person who's up against her with Tamina?
She sucks.
Absolutely useless. An absolute lump.
Complete waste of space. Thank you.
Waste of space.
I was having flashbacks to that back when Bailey was NXT Women's Champion. They had that kind of thing with Nia Jax. Was it in the NXT London?
Yep.
Another useless person.
Have we not done it for the show?
We have done London.
So, yeah.
We did it with
We did
Shitty.
London.
Yeah. And that match, I think that match was better than this match. I think
that's a low bar to achieve, but I think you're correct.
Yeah, but again, because that's the crowd with the Hey Bailey thing started off really kind of massively with the crowd there, didn't it? So that was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and it kind of made sense like the underdog hero character against the big massive bad guy. But here, like I think Tamina is supposed to be the face. Is she?
Yeah, Tamina's meant to be the good guy in this situation.
Yeah,
but she just doesn't have that kind of.
Don't
believe by it for a second.
No.
Nope. She's utterly useless.
I don't really know.
She's
always been like the kind of the heater or the muscle for somebody, hasn't she? For like a bad person, rather than being on her own as being a face character. She just doesn't do it. Can't do it. I don't know.
We'll get to this later on, but myself and Cameron were talking about a particular wrestler that would have done so much better if they never actually wrestled.
Well, there's a lot. That does happen, isn't it? Like if it had been like 10 years ago, Enzo Amore would never wrestle.
Yeah.
If he came up in the 80s, he just would have been a manager.
That would have been much
Absolutely.
more beneficial to my own memories because, yeah.
Enzo Amore was essentially this generation's Jimmy Hart.
Oh,
you know what? That's probably fair. That's bang on the nose, isn't it?
The only difference is Jimmy Hart didn't get in the ring, thankfully.
He did.
Oh shit, so he did. You're right.
He was wrestling Man Cow in WCW, remember?
Oh my god.
I think Jimmy Hart might have won a battle royal at one point in WWE. Well,
yeah.
I'll look that up later.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. But the best bits of this match we talked about here in the wrestlers, it's kind of Bayley and Sasha Banks banter. Like
it's just two gals being gals.
Yeah, I think there's a bit where Bayley says to me, they're like, "What's wrong with you? You're disrespectful." And just all that kind of stuff.
It's cool in the sense that was this not also the origin of Bayley shouting at Michael Cole all the time?
Yes.
I think so.
Yep.
And it was just great. I mean, I might as well chuck it in here because, can we all just agree this match is kind of crap?
This match is shit. Bayley wins. Huzzah.
It's Tamina. Bayley retains. Tamina's never got any threat against her at all.
No.
Because Tamina's a walking fucking lump. Okay. I will posit on the subject of being able to hear wrestlers jaw jack.
Yeah.
And just generally just like that being a layer of this show that you wouldn't have been able to hear otherwise normally.
Okay.
Right. I posit the following to you, gentlemen, for discussion. The COVID era allowed many wrestlers to get their gimmicks over and refined, or at least refined, maybe not over, but obviously not with a live crowd, but to work on it without a live crowd shitting on them from night one.
Exhibit 1, Roman Reigns.
Exhibit 1, I posit this.
You can deposit later.
Deposit later. I posit this. Without COVID, we don't have Roman Reigns, tribal chief, head of the table, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, because it needed that space without the crowd instantly turning on him to give him a chance to get that character up and running. And like the work he did
exactly.
Was it with the match with Jey Uso when he's like, you make me do this. You made me do this.
I was going to say, it's again Hell in a Cell. Was that Hell in a Cell 2020, wasn't it?
I think it was Hell in a Cell, yeah.
It was the men's Hell in a Cell match in 2020. Yeah, it was. It must have been. And it was him walking around the ring, just beating on Jey, and then, kind of like, absolutely annihilating him and kind of just looking at him going, look at what you made me do, Jey. You just got to fall in line. Look at what you made me do.
Yeah.
Like, totally establishes his fucking character completely.
Yeah.
But we're 35 years old and you are still testing me. You still don't understand that I'm better, that I am the man, that I am the tribal chief. All you had to do was acknowledge me. All you had to do was acknowledge me. And now you make me do things I don't want to do. But this is how serious it is. Who said top? This is how serious it is at the top.
Whereas, if he had a crowd, if he was reintroduced with a crowd present, they probably would just gone, oh, it's him again, and Vince is favourite, and fuck off. And we never would have got the tribal
in
chief
that order.
as we know now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another individual who benefited greatly from the COVID era would be the individual in our next match in the form of Mr. Bray Wyatt.
Can I point out as well, there's a Seth promo you've missed out.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's a Seth here. I'll put down here. Here's Seth, who has aged greatly in the last 5 years.
Yes, all the time has not been kind.
No, you can tell he's a bit beat up. Christ.
Yeah.
The statement, I'll come back to this. He says, tonight I unburden Drew McIntyre of the WWE title.
What a word salad of a sentence that is.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're going to come up to another title match next, in which Bray Wyatt describes Braun Strowman as carrying a burden of a title. It's like the same thing, kind of like wording going for 2 months.
Because this is the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins,
Yes.
not the kind of crazy Joker freaking Rollins he is these days.
I'm just going to put this out there. On the 12th of July, 1986, Jimmy Hart won a battle royal in Madison Square Garden.
Jesus God, the mad lad
You know
found
what?
it.
That was on my birthday as well. Thank you, Jimmy.
Oh,
wow.
It's very kind of you. But yeah, again, like you talk about like people kind of like refining gimmicks, like this Monday Night Messiah thing. I think it doesn't really work without an audience. We'll probably get to the match.
I mean, I remember him entering the 2020 Royal Rumble and having was it Authors of Pain he had with him for a while?
yes, it was. Yeah.
Was Buddy Murphy with him for a while as well?
Yeah, he shows up in one of the promos later, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely on fire walking into that Royal Rumble as the Monday Night Messiah. So yeah, maybe this period of Seth Rollins' career maybe lost a bit with having no crowd to respond to that, with having had a crowd before to get the hang of it. Whereas, maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's when they started singing his theme tune. That's where it kind of the character, the kind of like the over the top character, kind of came from that, didn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Bray, like the Firefly Funhouse, is pretty much built for the kind of COVID era with his.
Oh yeah.
Oh, exactly, and this is it. I mean, Bray.
Yeah.
For me, and I will die on this hill. Bray Wyatt, right? When Bray Wyatt died, for all intents and purposes, every single account of him, people who met him, say he was a great guy and a fantastic human being. I don't deny that. He sounds like a really sound guy. And obviously, sorry to see him go. But from a point of view of purely wrestling, his promos were gold. His ideas for characters, absolutely stellar. But for me, you know how Jim Cornette says, and then the damn bell had to ring, in reference to gimmicks and promos that are great, but then the matches stank.
Well, a bit harsh, Cameron. The guy's not here to defend himself.
Well,
wow.
There's many reasons for that, Al. I just think, can anyone think of an absolute bona fide solid gold classic Bray Wyatt match?
No.
The pitch black match at Royal Rumble.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, that was his last match.
Actually, Cam, I would say the Firefly. I can't even say it again. The Firefly Funhouse.
The Funhouse match, yep.
But he technically didn't wrestle in that.
Exactly.
He didn't wrestle in that, did he? Yeah.
That's more of a fucking art installation than a wrestling match. It's good.
Oh yeah,
but
that's
it's not really it's not really a match told in a wrestling format, is it?
No.
I would say that you're probably right in that his best in-ring moments were probably back in the Bray Wyatt matches with like the Shield and Team Hell No and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. When it was the three of them as like a triple threat sort of thing, and him or the other, Brody Lee and your big man with the beard on the tag team with him on the outside sort of thing. It was because it was again he wouldn't have him as just a manager because I think he was good in the ring. But it was just his ideas and how his character
would have him as just a manager.
Yeah.
He'd be a fantastic manager. He'd be a fantastic mouthpiece. As imagine Bray Wyatt as the cult leader.
That's exactly where I was about to go. I was about to say that.
Never physically gets involved.
Yeah. He's a cult leader. He gives his sermons to his minions and sends them out to do his bidding. He just stands. He's like the sinister minister in ECW.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people who wrestle under him are like invigorated by his sermons and his words.
Yeah.
And then you can take sort of like mid-carders who are maybe just a little bit not really there.
Yeah.
And then have them join Bray Wyatt and then be over weeks convinced, and then they suddenly become absolutely invigorated by his teachings, and that's them on a winning streak, blah 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 blah. That would be fantastic. Watching Bray Wyatt wrestle, he's not great.
No, he's not. I was gonna say the whole cultist thing. I guess that's kind of what CM Punk was doing with the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah, kind of a similar idea. But I mean, this match is okay.
Fine.
As far as Braun Strowman can go, and
the character work is brilliant. Like there's a bit at the beginning where like Bray he's like in the ring in this kind of like the cheery kids TV host character, and he kind of leans over to commentary and he goes, "You guys do a really good job, no matter what they tell you." And like,
yeah,
I think Braun whacks him one. He kind of goes, "Oh, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning," and like that kind of stuff is brilliant.
Oh, that's brilliant. But then you're kind of thinking there's some really good wrestling happening, and then a fucking puppet has to appear.
Now, don't you discuss us?
Like, there was always some fucking weird bullshit that comes along with Bray Wyatt around about this time.
Let's not forget the time he got set on fire.
Yes, he got set on fire, and then there was the Hell in a Cell match. That was it.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the Red Hell in a Cell match. No, we don't talk about that match.
It was the Seth Rollins bloody John Moxley
because it was too violent,
wasn't it? And there was somebody like Star Wars style projection of him or something like that, wasn't it?
It was also the match that ended in a fucking DQ. A Hell in a Cell match that ended in a DQ because Bray Wyatt brought in a too big hammer.
Yes.
Just fuck you. Whoever came up with that idea, fuck you.
And then, as we say, the pitch black match, which was fucking terrible. It's just like once the bell actually rings, it wasn't that good. And I'm really sorry. And I will say again, I'm sad that he's died. He sounds like, for everyone that's met him, he sounds like a really grade A guy, and I don't deny that. And for an ID point of view,
Cameron, that's what you're saying, yeah.
No, fuck off. I'm just saying that I've never sat and watched a Bray Wyatt match and enjoyed it and went, he's really good at this wrestling, Mark.
Well, I remember this at the time. There was a big thing with groans by fans because he was wrestling as Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend.
Yeah, but I don't think The Fiend's a thing you can bring out all the time.
Yeah. No.
Well, if you look back, he literally was bringing them out all the time at this point in time.
Well, yeah.
For matches, he would be Bray Wyatt in promos and The Fiend in the ring. Is how he would be doing it. Yeah. But this time he decided to go into the ring as Bray Wyatt.
And it's like, has he not lost the title to Goldberg by now? Yeah, he has, hasn't he?
February.
Yeah, and then
which was just a ridiculous decision, that wasn't it? It was just like Goldberg wanted the belt for his kid was there. But it's stuff like this. Yeah. This is the thing I wrote down, like about how is the problem with Bray Wyatt, or is it how it gets filtered through Vince into the ring? Because at the end of the day, Vince is the one who's in control of this stuff. He's the one who's kind of making the calls on things. Despite as much as creative as Bray Wyatt is and what he can do, it's still got to go through Vince. So, all the work he was doing with, I think The Fiend was over as a great character, and then he lost the belt to Goldberg and just legs out underneath him. That kind of ruined that for going forward sort of thing. And it's Vince, the Firefly Funhouse with Cena was amazing, but then it's still got to go through. Vince is probably going but we need to have a match. And so we end up with something like this, where it's like, I bet what Bray had in his head and would have been much wilder and closer to a Firefly Funhouse match than this turned out being. I don't know. It's like because it's still that period where it's especially tail end Vince, where it's like his fingerprints over everything, and he's not necessarily making the best decisions for the characters up and down the card. So it's a tricky one because there's some gold that he does with when he's in with the right people, in with the right kind of gimmick, like the early Wyatt family. And some parts of the Firefly Funhouse were astounding, but when it gets into when it's right, time for a match, it doesn't translate.
No, it doesn't.
They are kind of acknowledging the past, aren't they, with the whole sheep mask thing during it, don't they?
Yeah,
yeah.
Which is interesting, where he thinks he's going to join the the cult or whatever again, and he's wearing his little black sheep mask, and then decides he doesn't want to wear his black sheep mask anymore and just beats Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
Again, though, would that have been a moment that would have worked better with a crowd?
Yes.
Essentially, yeah.
Had they planned this, had they kind of thought about this when they thought there was going to be fans in the building? And I can imagine, the tension kind of going, Braun's going to come back to the Wyatt family. He's the black sheep, blah, 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 blah. Whereas in this kind of...
It's like what corner Mr. Purpose is going to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, in this kind of vacuum, it just seems like they're just going to have a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit like...
It feels like a match that needed way more of a cinematic thing, as opposed to being like a straight wrestling match.
Maybe, yeah. But, I mean, You got a lot of that with Bray as well. You got, I mean, like the bloody House of Horrors match with Randy Orton.
Yep.
You had that, which again led to a fucking terrible WrestleMania match with the fucking projections on the ring canvas with the maggots and things like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately.
That was like, there's all these bits with Bray Wyatt. You're like, yeah, he was an absolute generator of ideas. And some of them worked, and that was fine. But a lot of them were just, what?
Garbage.
You know?
Anyway, should we move on to the next match before Cameron destroys Bray Wyatt's legacy anymore?
Wow.
Yes, let's do that.
Should we mention the mysterious promo first that comes after this match?
I guess we should do that, yes.
Yep. I've got 3 words on it here.
Oh, I didn't even ask.
Is it Billy Gunn?
I've got stupid hacker gimmick.
Yeah. do we all remember how this ends up?
No, but I'd say I've just got his book here. Do you want to know what Bret Hart thinks of it?
Yay!
Let's go.
I'm joking, of course.
Terrible. In 6 months' time, Mustafa Ali reveals himself to be the SmackDown hacker.
I thought it was going to be. It was the start of bloody Retribution. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
he becomes their lead.
On the subject of things that should have just never made it out the oven.
But it's like these promos were airing and then they just stopped. And then 6 months later, he's like, "Yeah, it was me." And then that was it.
Quickest the most ever.
Yeah. So there you go. In case you were wondering,
it's kind of like the Raw GM. It's one of those things that they decide that they're going to do, and they do it, and then no one thinks about who it's actually going to be.
Yeah,
exactly.
Until the last minute where they go, "Oh shit, yeah, it needs to be someone, doesn't it?" And that's why you got like, "Oh, the Raw GM's Hornswoggle."
No, I will maintain the best Raw GM ever was Bob Barker. Thank you. Good night.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
But during this the hacker video, you see the Ring of Light that Mustafa Ali was used in his ring costume and stuff. So there was hints of him being that in there, but they just kind of didn't bother pulling the trigger on it until Retribution came along with Mace,
So, like,
and whatever the name was.
about it.
Mace, T-Bar,
T-Bar. Fucking, what was
T-Bar.
Mia Yim called in it as well?
Oh
God.
Jackhammer, Rotary Engine, I'm not sure.
Whatever. Roadblock, whatever the fuck they were called.
Yeah.
Are we naming off New Hero Turtles villains now?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. The biggest kind of like it's not quite as bad as some of the other, like, we'll just go with a mystery person and then we won't have a clue who the fuck they are until we reveal them to be someone pathetic.
Black Scorpion.
The biggest example of that is that's probably one of them, but it was kind of obvious it was Flair right from the fucking start, that one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, it was me, Austin.
Oh, no.
It was me all along.
Yeah, because obviously you as Vince would traumatize your whole family.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done it before.
Yeah,
Doing
well.
it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that too, yeah. Anywho, our semi-main event for the WWE Championship is the champion Drew McIntyre versus Seth. We're not quite sure what middle of things he has right now, but we'll say surname is Rollins.
Is this not CrossFit Jesus?
Yeah, Monday Night Messiah.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, Monday Night Messiah. That's how you spell
Whatever. Drew McIntyre is a very good professional wrestler.
I like Drew McIntyre. He's very
really good.
It's helped the fact, well, obviously, he's Scottish.
Well, of course, there was some bias there.
Yeah, there are some things.
You're right. I bet if Bray Wyatt was Scottish, you wouldn't be laying into him.
Oh God!
If the Fiend wore a kilt, yes, it'd be fine.
It'd be the McFiend.
McFiend, yeah. Now serving
No.
for a limited time only.
If the Fiend was Scottish, he'd be claiming he was the guy that stomped on that terrorist's balls at Glasgow Airport.
Probably, yeah.
One of my highlights of this, we've got Samoa Joe back on commentary, which is he delivers some good lines in this one. I quite like Samoa Joe.
Now, I'm no medical expert, but the head was not meant to absorb that many kneecaps in a row.
Well, thanks, Joe.
No,
very informative.
I love the fact that there's a limited amount of kneecaps that a skull can absorb at any one time, and Samoa Joe is pretty confident he knows which.
He's not a medical expert.
No,
he's not
a medical expert. He wouldn't know. No, this is true.
What he's saying is just spouting off nonsense that should just be disregarded.
And they got good chemistry. These two, they do some good stuff, don't they? There's a mad belly to belly on the outside where like Drew seems like he's much too far away from the commentary table for Seth to land on it, but he does.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure how he does it, but he does. It sounds really painful.
Are they not taking advantage of the fact that they know it's the last match in the Performance Center for the night, so they can basically just wreck the place?
They do what they want, yeah.
You know what? Wreck the place. We're not doing anything else after this.
There's a curb stomp, reverse or Glasgow kiss at one point.
Yep.
There's a tree of woe.
Oh yeah.
Is that where Drew kind of like belly to back suplexes Seth pretty much across the ring?
He just flings him for like a complete 360 across the ring.
Yeah, he goes completely across the entire place. It's great. But yeah, I enjoy, and I think this match more than all the rest of them for the evening, all the ones that are based in the ring, has the highest level of jaw jacking available.
Yes, I think so.
Which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah,
and I like this.
I'm gonna let you take a breather. Take your time. I'm enjoying every second of this.
Well, that's like, a lot of Drew stuff now, isn't it? He's like the jaw jacking and was it the WrestleMania match when he grabbed someone's phone and tweeted from the ringside?
Yeah.
Tremendous.
And then
it's amazing.
Oh, he did that. I think he got his wife's phone and tweeted a picture and beating up CM Punk, and then obviously got cashed in on, and he tweeted afterwards. He quote tweeted it saying, "Well, that didn't age well."
No.
Yeah.
Like his social media game is on point.
Was that the one where he was sat on the announce table and it was just like, bored at work, lol?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. So
I think
just like,
you can kind of feel parts of that kind of character here. Like, I think it's a bit more of a heelish character he's doing these days, but especially that kind of feud he had the last year or so with CM Punk, which was really good. But yeah, like,
oh yeah, that was.
I think the problem was with like his run here was like, like as soon as other people came back, he just kind of got knocked down that post a little bit, and then the kind of the tribal chief kind of whole thing just kind of took all the air out the top end of the card. That's the wrong thing, but like that became such a thing, like that kind of swamped everything else that he couldn't really. He had no space to get back up in there, apart from when they were in Scotland for that clash in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
He was never going to beat Roman then, was he? He was never going to beat Roman.
No.
Well, in the Scottish one, he wasn't fighting Roman. He was fighting Damien Priest.
Yes.
You mean the Cardiff one?
Oh yeah, it's the Cardiff one, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the Cardiff one for Roman Reigns. Yeah, the stupid "let's sing a song afterwards."
Yeah, because that's me thinking. If you're going to have something in a castle, and Drew's in the main event, you put it in Scotland, wouldn't you, rather than in Wales? But what am I thinking?
Yeah, well, I think they originally wanted to have it in Scotland, but then they got the Millennium Stadium booked, and then it was just like, right, we need sort of like Drew to basically say, "Hey, I'm from the UK, and Wales is included in that."
Close enough.
Yeah, I mean,
for my Plaid Cymru members going, "We're no part of you."
No, in an alternative universe, it's Mason Ryan against Roman Reigns.
Jesus!
Wow, could you imagine?
Being as he's the only Welsh guy WWE I can think of. But hey-o.
I'm sure they could have like dug out Lord Alfred Hayes and said he was kind of Welsh.
What?
Like
he definitely didn't have a Welsh accent.
Exhumed Lord Alfred Hayes and pushed him into got him into the ring and said he must have some Welsh heritage in him somewhere. Just stick him in the ring. If Roddy Piper can be Scottish, Lord Alfred Hayes can be Welsh.
Sure.
Well, don't let Cameron go on another tyrant of passed away people. Look.
Sorry, yeah.
He's about the only kind of reference to Wales that Lord Alfred Hayes has is the fact he's pushing up daffodils.
Oh.
I mean,
zing.
What?
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Good match.
If he was here, Cameron. If he was here right now, Cameron, he would give you a knuckle blow. I'll tell you that.
Baby.
Wow.
Drew McIntyre wins the match. Let's move on very quickly.
I think I did a nap afterwards.
Jesus.
He's obviously you haven't listened to enough of Alfred Hayes' commentary.
I think I've heard enough for plenty.
No, I think if he was here, he'd still probably be knocking on the Ultimate Warrior's door at fucking Wembley Stadium. But anyway. So yeah, there's a Glasgow case into a super kick, but then a reverse into a Claymore for 3. Drew retains the title. There's a rather strange moment for a post-match handshake afterwards.
Yeah, I don't quite get what that was all about.
A bit weird.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to quickly rewind a second.
Uh-huh.
The finish just again came out with nothing.
Yeah.
Like again, if the crowd was there, but I was like, what's he do? He headbutts him and then he just does the Claymore. Is that no? Does he kick him? He super kicks him, doesn't he?
They kind of swap finish. They kind of trade finishes, but then the Claymore's the one that does him.
Oh, but R-Truth's back, and I had no clue what he was on about. I think he was like Was he talking like he won the match? I can't remember what his...
No, the best lines in this are, there's a couple of them. MVP's lost a significant amount of weight.
Yeah.
And I'm coming for you, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
When as they point out, he means Rob Gronkowski or whatever the fuck his name was.
Big Gronk. Yeah.
What is he? He's a 24/7, 120 degree, whatever else. He does, yeah.
95.
Yeah. That's
really like it was stupid, but something was built for the COVID era where you could do daft stuff. The 24/7 title surely was something that could have they could have really used to get like a proper degree during this kind of time.
And yet they still managed to fail miserably.
It was like the Fisher-Price hardcore title, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like, we want a hardcore title, but we need it to be kind of like
PG,
friendly for the sponsors and PG. So therefore, we're just going to have. We're just going to.
They made it looked like a clock. Didn't it? It was like a giant watch, like one of those giant watches you had in your bedroom as a kid. And that kind of ruined it. But like all the work Seth did when it became his, was it 48/7 title or whatever? And he was kind of like treating it as like his child. Like that got it over. Like that was the kind of stuff that you kind of wanted done with the title. The kind of like the really kind of like, I'm not saying go to the the extremes of the DDT Pro kind of stuff where it's like buses winning the title, that sort of thing. But they could have really kind of
or ladders or
posters or myself as one of the
or
YouTube
yourself.
members.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say 50% of this podcast are former DDT champion.
Yeah. Thank you very much. But yeah, they could have really leaned into that, especially like say during this COVID time, where you could have like what the thing that follows could be a match for the 24/7 title, effectively.
Well, yeah,
kind of running around a building or whatever. But they never really did it, and they really kind of think it could have been really, really good. But now they just kind of never. I think they're trying to replicate the kind of Crash Holly's era of the 24/7 hardcore title, where it was really good.
Whoa! That's another passed away champion. Don't get Cameron started.
Ting.
But I think that's the kind of high watermark. That's the kind of high watermark they would kind of get to, but they just never manage it. They just didn't do it.
No, they don't. The PC lies in pieces. Everything is broken. Samoa Joe is probably off to get something from catering. Assuming it's catering, I don't know. And we then cut to Titan Towers, where we have our two main events, which are going to happen at the same time.
Yes.
We have the men's Money in the Bank match starting off in the WWE gym, consisting of AJ Styles, Otis, Aleister Black, King Corbin, Daniel Bryan, and Rey Mysterio. And in the lobby, the women's Money in the Bank match, consisting of Lacey Evans, Nia Jax, Carmella, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, and Sting enthusiast Asuka. That joke will make sense in a minute.
Yes, because you say that because all the women are kind of hanging around. But where's Asuka? Where is she? Oh, she's on something really high. What's she gonna do from the really high thing?
If anyone's played the Yakuza series,
I love the Yakuza series. You're talking to the right person.
And everyone, if you've played that, you'll know about the phrase Majima everywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
Where like Goro Majima is like the madman of the entire Yakuza series.
Yep.
And he just, I think it's Yakuza Kiwami, which he just like appears out of like
thin air
boxes and things like that, and just thin air and just behind lampposts all the time, fights you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, this is what this reminded me of. It's just basically Asuka shouting at people in Japanese and just like popping out of lifts and stairwells and office and various doors and all this kind of stuff.
She is one of the kind of corner pinners. I would say the other kind of, I think it was off mic before we started recording. The other kind of cornerstone to this whole match is your man Otis with his oh yeah,
smack that face right here, oh yeah, you don't want that, huh? Oh yeah, pure basic right here, so you can see it. You're the luckiest man in the world. Luckiest, yes I am. Oh yeah, the whole load, man.
We were discussing this myself and Cameron before we started as well, that Otis is really the sort of MVP of the men's match, I think.
I quite like when Daniel Bryan comes out, when he's introduced, he looks so happy. He's all like, "Are you boys ready for a fight?" And he's all like, "Oh, let's go."
Yep. Meanwhile, Otis is rubbing himself sensually. It's like, okay, enough.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Where this loses me pretty much straight away is this is like we're in the kind of era of cinematic matches, but I wanted this to be more. I think this should have been more of like an actual. We've got cameras dotted around the place because there's a moment early on. Asuka jumps up a high thing and she's trying to get into the lift, And the lift doors open, and there's it cuts to like inside the lift, and Asuka comes in. Then it cuts to outside the lift, and there's no cameraman in there. There's nobody else in there with her. So immediately we're kind of like into that weird middle space.
That camera was the security camera.
No, it was lower down. It was lower down.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was kind of like that door level. Yeah, it was definitely
the security camera from the footage at the top corner of the lift.
There is.
Yeah. Looking down on her.
When it cuts, he cuts these.
Oh, you mean from behind her?
Yeah.
Is it like a shot from behind?
Like right at the beginning of her being in the lift. And this is the thing where it's like, a lot of the kind of backstage stuff on wrestling is, I find frustrating because it's like, it's two guys having a secret conversation about how they're going to kill someone later in the show. But there's a camera there that's broadcasting it to the entire arena.
It's the problem that you have to tell a story to an audience, but then obviously you can't.
And like what I wanted to be like was, I'm sure the Rock and Mick Foley empty arena match was like this, where they're like, right, we've got camera crews everywhere, we're going to follow this wherever it goes, and it becomes much more kind of like not realistic, but there's much more interaction between the crew and the wrestlers. And it's just like them trying to capture this kind of crazy thing that's happening that's kind of barreling through this building. Whereas, like, because there's no commentary during this entire thing, there's like music in the background and that sort of stuff. And it just but it kind of falls between being a proper cinematic thing, like the Boneyard match was like a proper kind of cinematic thing, and kind of more realistic. We're going to try to follow this as best we can. We've got camera crews running around, falling over things, that sort of stuff. And I really wish they'd done that with this, to kind of capture the chaos of it.
You need to remember this is the first time they had to do something like this.
No, I get that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think there was, it's just like, when they do that, I'm like, you can't, they try to have it both ways where it's like, we're watching a sporting event, but it's cinematic. And it just doesn't, like, it's still great. I still really enjoyed it. But I just think if they just gone all one way with it, that's what makes it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before, I was telling Euan before we started recording as well, when we were having a chat. Before I rewatched this, in my head, my memory of this show was the Money in the Bank matches were going throughout the entire show, and they kept cutting back to it in between the actual matches at the Performance Centre.
Yeah.
And I kind of got surprised when I was like, oh no, right, they're just at the end for the last half hour. Because I could have sworn that that's how they presented it. And it was like, we're going to go back to Titan Towers and see how they're getting on the Money in the Bank matches, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to get like 5 minutes of them running around all over the place and doing the skits, and then back for a title match. We'll come back to the Money in the Bank match when it's, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then like that, the bit on the roof would have been the final sort of 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
There are parts of this. I mean, it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
This match.
Some great
matches, rather. Was the presentation of Dana Brooke supposed to be that she was thick?
Yes.
Was that a thing at this time?
I don't know, but I'm guessing I'm going to go with yes.
It's the way she grabs the briefcase that's full of money.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh, that's not the real briefcase, you idiot. And I'm like, kind of going, it's still full of money.
She gets the briefcase, and then it cuts to Stephanie McMahon, who's clearly not in the same building, probably not even in the same country, doing like, that's not what that is, you dafty. And it's like, you're
live from the airport bathroom.
You're like,
hey Dana, what are you doing? Newsflash: this is the Money in the Bank conference room. You guys are destroying the building. The real Money in the Bank briefcase is on the roof. Oh, and can you clean that up? Naya's she's drooling all over the place. It's gross.
You're like, no, what? Like the camera quality is different. She's clearly doing it on her phone in a different room somewhere. Like that was kind of stupid. But then what made me laugh about Dana Brooke is that she gets smashed over her head with a picture frame. And then she's wearing it for like the next 5 minutes. When the food fight kicks out, she's in the background, still got the picture frame over her head, which I thought was brilliant. I was like, oh, please carry on wearing that for the rest of the show. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Our next somewhat awkward moment happens when Rey Mysterio stumbles into the bathroom, and one Bruce Pritchard makes an unwelcome appearance.
Oh yeah. I would say he's not the worst cameo. I would say the John Laurinaitis has probably not aged.
Oh,
It's not like the worst cameo of it, but the whole thing is, if you're Rey Mysterio and a gentleman walks out of if you're in the gents' loo And a gentleman walks out of
a very red man.
Yeah, a very red-faced man walks out of a cubicle and looks at you and goes, "I love you." You don't stand there and smile.
Or you either stand there and smile, or you ask how much, pal.
Cameron, it sounds like from experience, is that Cameron?
I'm just giving out a public warning there, Al. You know, George Michael got convicted for less.
I'd point at him and go, "What, you manager of the Undertaker once?" And then leave.
I was really, because there's a bit where AJ looks at the Undertaker on the wall and has flashbacks to WrestleMania.
That's funny. That's good
funny.
fun. I remember that being the one I was.
For some reason, WWE headquarters has got a whole room dedicated to the Undertaker for some reason.
He gets locked in it, and he's like, "No."
I was really hoping. I know it's because of the pandemic, but I was really hoping somebody would pop up out of one of the coffins, like
That'd have been
Kane
funny.
or something. But yeah,
The Gobbledygook. Just because.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if it was like Kamala? You know,
singing.
They're just like, you know, after Survivor Series 92, they just basically took the entire casket and just stored it.
Because it's been 20 odd years. What's going on? Where am I?
Yes.
I'm finally out.
Yep. That'd be great.
Thinking about it, the worst cameo is actually when they go into Vince's office. I think it's AJ and Daniel Bryan kind of.
It is, yeah.
And he kind of scares him. But then also, there's a great moment afterwards.
Wow, you acted like a real coward in there. Yeah, me? You're the one who told us to put the chairs back. I did, didn't I? Yeah.
And then they just carry on fighting again.
I mean, you're watching this match thinking, in about a year's time, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson will be fighting Kenny Omega on an episode of Dynamite.
Yep.
In New York.
Yep.
It's
like, crazy.
Wow, how nuts that was.
Here's the thing, I've done no research, I didn't put any kind of thought into this until it just came to me. How would we compare this to probably like, I'm not sure what its closest comparison would be, but I'm thinking it's the Stadium Stampede match that AEW did.
Ooh.
I think that's probably the fairest comparison. I still think that's superior to this.
I prefer the Stadium Stampede, yeah.
Because I think with that, like, thinking about it, I think with that, they stuck to it being a match with Cruz following the guys around.
Yeah.
And cutting back and forth. Like, I remember the, was it one of the Young Bucks doing the Northern Light suplex from one end of the pitch to the other?
Yes.
Yeah. And was it Matt Hardy getting dunked in the swimming pool, but coming up each time was one of his as a different gimmick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel I can't remember if that. I'm sure I must have been after this, but I might have to do a quick bit of research about the Stadium Stampede. But yeah, I feel like that's the kind of closest comparison where it's like a load of guys just running amok in the building.
I think that's the fairest one. I don't count the match that happened in the warehouse with Sting and Darby because that was cinematic to the max.
Totally, yeah, completely.
Oh yeah, that was still cool. But...
Oh, it was amazing. It was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. But I think Stadium Stampede's probably the closest like comparable one.
Oh, to this, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we just kind of like you're kind of going through like an entire building or an entire structure sort of thing, isn't it?
Was it not the same month? Was that not Double or Nothing 2020?
Maybe, I don't know.
The Stadium Stampede,
because it was definitely
it
was because it was obviously as empty, wasn't it? So it was definitely during like that kind of period where it was.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Hold on, quick Google.
All right,
talk amongst
while
yourselves.
You guys are googling. I'm going to talk about Paul Heyman's diet success.
Was this when when Otis has a seizure before the food fight starts?
Yeah. So Otis goes into some strange seizure-like movement.
Again, he's like, God bless the boy. He really, really goes all in for this, doesn't he?
I think he realizes the situation he's in, so he's like, you know what? It's going to go all in.
Double or Nothing 2020. That's when the Stadium Stampede was.
This was right. It was 2 weeks after this show.
Oh,
was it that close?
Stadium Stampede.
Interesting.
Yep. It was a fortnight apart. These two events.
Huh.
Can somebody explain what was going on with the Doink the Clown cameo?
I got no clue.
That was not Doink the Clown. That
not
was
a clue.
Legally indistinct Clown Man number 1.
What?
Yeah, that's what I mean. it didn't really look like Doink, but I wasn't sure if they were trying to be Doink or what the purpose of it was.
I don't think even they realised what they were trying to do there. I think that's the fundamental problem.
It's just weird.
They kind of played Doink's music, but it wasn't Doink's music, was it?
It was the legally distinct Mexican knockoff version of his music.
Yeah. Another highlight post the food fight is when like Nia Jax and Otis square up to each other, and Otis is still eating a sandwich.
I just like to say I did not enjoy that food fight segment.
No,
come on.
No.
Right, 2 reasons. Yeah. Number 1, I just thought it was a bit silly in the middle of the match.
Okay.
And number 2, there's COVID, people are short of food, and you've got them just literally chucking around a feast that could have fed I don't know how many people.
To be fair, they did a food fight a few years before that. That one probably was better. The one where somebody pied Kevin Owens and the whole thing kicked off.
Oh yeah.
And I think in the middle of it, Cesaro and Sheamus are doing like an arm wrestling match, and they're just kind of doing that while there's food flying around them and that sort of stuff. That was a better food fight, to be fair. But this has got Otis in it, going like sandwich.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Pie. Oh yes.
God bless him. He does so much in this match to keep it going. It's unreal.
He does.
Can I point out the logic break in this match that I hate?
Oh yeah, you did. We were mentioning this earlier on off mic, so go for it.
So there's one point in this match, right, where Baron Corbin's they're on the roof. Baron Corbin climbs one side of the ladder.
Yeah.
Asuka climbs the other. And they stop and just basically shout at each other for like what feels like about 10, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Why are they arguing with each other? They are, strictly speaking, in 2 separate matches.
I feel like how I interpreted that was like they come to the top, and like Asuka got shouting at him. He's like, "No, I'm trying to get the belt as well. I'm trying to get my belt," and she thinks he's going to get her belt because she's just a crazy Japanese lady. So she starts battering him because like there's the bit earlier where like the cleaner kind of comes up and she starts screaming at him in Japanese, and every now and then like Ruth starts coming out of like she says that, and then she runs up again. I just felt like he was trying to get his belt. He was trying to get his briefcase, and she was just like, "No, you're not getting my briefcase." He's like, "I'm not trying to get your briefcase," and then she battered him. So I think it could have been articulated a bit better. But that's how I read that part of it, that bit.
But it just feels like they could have just both reached up and just collected the respective briefcases and both won.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know.
Of course, the other thing is this match had no commentary till the end, did it?
Yeah, because Asuka wins, and then a really bored sounding Michael Cole just kind of goes, "Yeah, Asuka won."
Well, it's certainly been a voice, pre-recorded voiceover. It seemed, yeah.
Indeed, an historic moment tonight for that woman, Asuka.
And then Asuka disappears completely.
Yeah,
Asuka disappears to the 7th realm.
Otis comes into shot and AJ and all that kind of stuff, and Bray.
Yeah.
And then Baron Corbin has reached the ring before Asuka climbed the ladder to get it, obviously, as we just said. But then he appears like he's where he's supposed to be, but Asuka's seemingly just buggered off somewhere.
Yeah,
seemingly
teleported,
whisked away by helicopter.
Yeah.
And let's not forget where they decided to copy the spot from Hulk Hogan and the Big Show from WCW.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we referring to the point where Baron Corbin becomes a double murderer?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeets Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black off the edge of the building.
It's not even he throws both of them off. He fucking flings them off this roof.
Especially Ray. Jesus, he could go miles, couldn't he?
He does.
Apparently, the next night, Ray said there was like a lower part of the roof, and that's what he landed on. But like, there's no indication of that at all.
Course,
you don't see anything like underneath them. It's just they're gone.
No, because they haven't lit it. It's really dark, so you.
They're just off the roof.
King Corbin, Monarch, double murderer.
Literally commits 2 murders back to back. Not even a breath between them.
It's not even a monster truck involved or anything.
Yeah, and then I think this finish is daft.
I mean, the whole thing's daft, Phil. What do you expect? The whole thing's dumb.
Yeah, but
who is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh god, he's on the ladder. Is it AJ's up the ladder? Corbin
and AJ, they unhook it,
and then Elias comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, Elias comes out of nowhere for no reason.
Smacks him on the back with a chair. He finds the roof easy enough, despite them all having loads of trouble finding the roof. He waffles Corbin, who kind of comes off the ladder. AJ then juggles the briefcase in his hands, drops it, and it lands in Otis's hands, who's declared the winner and Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Yep.
I always thought it was the one who unhooked it that won.
Yeah.
No, it's TNA claimed that it's basically whoever has the briefcase when it hits the ground. So you could unhook it, but if you drop it and somebody else grabs it, that's on you.
Wow.
It's all about possession, you see.
And Otis wins.
Right.
And again, bored Michael Cole kind of comes in. Yeah, Otis won. He kind of got the ladder.
Michael Cole's recording this from like his bathroom or something like that.
Probably, yeah. It sounds like he's doing the same thing as he does on the WWE games. It's like, that kind of thing. Otis wins the Money in the Bank.
It's all cool. They just clipped it for different voice cuts. Do you boys want to know how these two Money in the Bank winners ended up?
Yes, I would love to know about that.
I remember Otis not being too good, but keep going.
Carry on, Phil, for the benefit of those at home.
We'll deal with Asuka first of all. So next night, Monday Night Raw, one Becky Lynch comes out, who's the current Raw Women's Champion, and she reveals that the winner of the Money in the Bank actually won the title because she's given up the title because she's going off to get pregnant.
She is pregnant. She's going off to get pregnant at this point.
She is pregnant. At the time,
right?
Going off to become a mother. So there's a great
done.
There's a great bit where Asuka kind of it's in hindsight it's weird because Becky Lynch comes out saying, "Yeah, I'm not going to be the champion anymore. Here's the belt." Gives it to Asuka, and Asuka celebrates wildly. But we're like, we don't know why Becky Lynch has left yet. Like, is it a bad thing? Like, is she kind of celebrating? She's going to go, "Yeah, my career's done," sort of thing. But then she kind of goes, "You go off to be a champion, and I'm going to go be a mother." And like Asuka nearly breaks kayfabe. She's like, "What? Are you kidding? Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh my god!"
They purposely didn't tell her. I didn't tell anyone.
It was a very natural reaction.
Everyone in that match thought it was going to be for a title shot coming up.
Yeah,
and they'd have to do that. Whereas, they weren't told at all that it was you're actually getting the belt.
So that was quite heartwarming seeing that kind of reaction between the two of them. But like Asuka's just generally just like, "Oh my god, this is brilliant," and like,
yeah.
Now Otis. As confirmed by Geordie Allen, his path isn't as nice as this one. So he has the belt. He then starts feuding with the aforementioned Miz and Morrison, and then this ends up at Hell in a Cell, where they have a match for the briefcase, and Otis loses, which means that Miz becomes the Money in the Bank owner.
Can we also point out this is 5 months later?
Yes.
Yes.
5 months later, so the Hell in a Cell. So then I can't remember how long it is after this, but then Miz then cashes in on Drew to win the title, and then I'm pretty sure it's like the next day or the next week, whatever.
It's a week later.
Has a match, and he loses it to Lashley. So Lashley becomes the champion of the WWE. So Otis never gets to cash in, or even try to cash in. So I think it's down as being one of the worst reigns. I want to say he tried to cash in and lose. Was it Sandow when he had the briefcase?
A couple of people. Baron Corbin's by this time has cashed in and lost.
Yeah, so I think like he never even got a chance to cash in. They just kind of went clearly. Sandow. Like Vince woke up a day later was like, "What have I done? This was a mistake. We need to fix this."
Well, you could, it's a typical Vince McMahon doing it just to please him and give him a laugh on.
Well, I think at the time Otis was really getting over. Like at this kind of time, he was like,
but not to like bloody world champion levels.
Well, no, but the crowd were popping for the Caterpillar, weren't they?
Yeah, but he loses it because Tucker turns on him. Where did that go? Nowhere, because they released Tucker.
Yeah, exactly. I think like this is a situation where like the character was over, kind of like Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi kind of style. Like he was a crowd pleaser doing the Caterpillar and that sort of stuff. But it wasn't somebody that you would elevate to the top of a car by having them run over Stone Cold Steve Austin or.
I was just about to say, as soon as you mentioned Rikishi, I was like, is this like the modern day Rikishi running over Stone Cold?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they've just picked some random guy to think that means he's suddenly world class material.
They've probably gone like, look how the crowd reacts to him doing that. He must be like really over. But then they don't understand like he's only over for one thing, and that isn't necessarily the thing that's going to make him a world champion. Same thing with Otis. Like his character work was great. His work with Tucker was great. Oh yeah, all that stuff, brilliant. The way he says cheeseburger is astounding. But like and the crowd love that sort of stuff. But they're not gonna believe him in the way of being a champion. So again, it's like they try to push him up higher than he kind of his skill. Not skill. That sounds really harsh. But like his position on the card isn't as a champion. His position on the card is like the upper mid card or mid card kind of guy to keep the crowd happy. His position on the card isn't someone at the top at this point.
And to think, in this 5-month stretch, in order for him to be world champion, he'd have had to cash in on, I think, either Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar.
Not going to happen, is it?
Fuck, no way.
And it's sad because, I think after that he kind of founded, but then he got into that tag team with Chad Gable, which was good.
Yeah, and they got into like Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy, that's what it's called, yeah.
No, American Made's the new one with the Creed brothers. When he's currently fucking having a lucha problem, which is he's like El Grande Americano.
Yeah. Which people see that's like, I'm not happy with it because it's like it's really racist, but it's kind of like, again, like, isn't that kind of the point? Like the character's supposed to be a douchebag, so it's kind of the point that it's a little bit. Anyway,
he's just basically, hey, you crazy Mexican people.
Yeah,
you know.
So that was how the journey of your 2 Money in the Banks from 2020. One got at the belt straight away, the other one didn't get even closer of a sniff to it.
The only cash-in attempt or holding a Money in the Bank briefcase that was worse than this would have been Austin Theory.
Sandown?
No, Austin Theory, who cashed in on the US belt.
Oh, God.
Yeah. What a dumbass.
Yeah.
No, I forgot he was even a thing.
Fuck. Yeah, exactly. It's like, what the hell?
I know, like,
for being Vince McMahon's hand-picked amazing had Vince stayed in charge, I think Austin Theory would have been fucking world champion by now.
Probably.
But it's instead, let's cash in on the US champion.
Makes no sense.
Yeah,
no.
Makes no sense. Absolutely none.
Right, so we're going to place it somewhere now, aren't we?
Yeah, we do. We do.
We have done one Money in the Bank before, which was Money in the Bank 2011.
And where's that on the?
That is
that show was better than this purely because of the CM Punk John Cena match.
Yeah, I agree
that
with
is
you
at
there.
number 25.
Okay, well, it's definitely going below that.
Below that.
So next one down is Survivor Series 1990.
I liked it better. Debut of The Undertaker.
Yeah, 1990 is better than this.
All right, next up is SummerSlam 1993.
Oh, wow. I liked it better than this as well, I'm afraid. Come on, Alex Express.
Okay, no, that's fair. Jesus.
The greatest count-out victory ever seen.
Like, the only other thing, like, to the kind of, I'm going down a bit lower, but like another match has got a really dumb match in it is Halloween Havoc 91.
I would say that entire thing is dumb, but never mind.
Yeah.
That's like 39. So I think it's better than that. I think we need to go up a little bit.
It's much better than that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Above that's Heatwave 1998.
It's got to be better than that, surely.
All right, so if it's better than that, is it better than WrestleMania 4?
Oh, no, don't do this to me.
All right, I think we found our place.
Found his place.
According to the Conquistabores, Money in the Bank 2020 is the 38th greatest pay-per-view of all time.
Yay! Round of applause for everyone. Yay!
The risk was worth the reward.
I know, it definitely was. You are all welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, as I say, when you first picked this show, I was a bit skeptical. And when I started watching it, I was like, yeah, I can see why he's picked this because so much has changed in the 5 years since this was broadcast.
It's crazy to believe this is only 5 years ago, but there you go.
Yeah, exactly. It just felt like a parallel universe somewhere.
So, in the words of Bill Goldberg, who's next?
Mr. Phil is next, according to the grand table, and he's already spoiled what his pick is, unless he's going to change it.
I don't know, because like I can't remember why I picked it now, to be brutally honest.
Okay.
There must have been a reason why I picked it. I thought that'd be good to watch.
Al's going to flip his wig.
Oh, God, he is, actually.
Oh, not some more niche crap.
Wow.
Well, Phil doesn't even remember what it is, Al, so...
I picked... hang on, I'm in the wrong part of the list. Where's the upcoming list?
I've got the list here if you want it.
There we go. So it is NXT TakeOver Chicago 2017.
Oh, right. Right. I think I'm busy that night.
Well, to be fair, Al, if you can hang on till August, Phil's got an absolute treat in store for you.
Has he?
Well,
when's it my pick?
Your pick is actually in May, Al. So you're up next after Phil.
Oh, right.
I will warn you in advance. I'm going to spoil what the pick is, but AWE Wrestle Rock 1986 is unavailable due to Phil picking it.
What is?
AWE Wrestle Rock 1986.
Well, he's got my era, but what's that on?
I don't know at this point.
So,
it's on YouTube, okay.
So basically, like, the WWE Vault channel, they released they released some behind the scenes footage of the AWA Wrestle Rock show, and it's like the Rockers were doing a promo and stuff, and like they're on it. I can't remember who else on it, but then like Scott Hall and Mr. Perfect were a tag team on it, and they're doing like a promo simple and that stuff. It's all the kind of recording like backstage stuff, and it's like, oh man, that seems like a wild show. And I checked, and the whole show's on YouTube. I was like, why not? Let's go!
Wow.
Tell you what,
why haven't you picked that?
Being you don't know why you picked Chicago 2017, why don't we just do Wrestle Rock next month?
Okay. Well,
yeah, Euan, I'm with you. Go, Euan. Go with you, Euan.
That sounds brilliant. Let's do Wrestle Rock.
Okay.
We'll do the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Yes.
We're not trying to like needle you into choosing something here, Phil. No. But of the two choices,
I'm updating it right now. So next week's going to be AWA Wrestle Rock 1986.
Yay!
Brilliant.
I'm just checking that and find it first. Hang on.
I really hope it's still on there.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can post the link in the Discord, Phil, that'd be appreciated.
Al is not going to flip his wig.
No, Al, if anything, is going to... I don't know what to do with his wig.
There it is. Hang on.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So there you go, folks. It's available on YouTube. Seek it out. Watch it. Breathe it in.
Wow.
Do whatever you need to do. Maybe not breathe it in.
Well,
maybe a bad idea.
Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Well, that's the song from the show.
Oh, I was going to say there's a music video on it.
We'll get to that, Al. There was a music video for the pay-per-view. It's fucking awful, but it's hysterical at the same time.
Nice.
If you ever wanted to hear Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall try and rap, that's the show for you.
Oh, the full show.
Wow.
It's 3 hours and 40 minutes, mind you.
Yeah.
Because you've picked shows that are obviously that length.
No, Cameron. My shows just seem that length, but the rest of the show.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. How do I save this to a watch later?
I'm already happy because the thumbnail has Tiger Mask in it, and that makes me very happy.
Got that and all, yeah. No, this is definitely my era wrestling. I think I'll enjoy watching this a lot more than the other Dross. But yeah.
Oh, wow. This is the behind-the-scenes video from the WWE Vault as well.
Okay,
Dross,
thank you.
He says.
I'm going to watch both of these things.
Right, I need to... what the fuck is YouTube doing these days? Let me just save it. All right, save.
I've got it.
Watch later. Why do you not just have a watch later button, you stupid bloody...
Because that would be too much like convenience.
Okay, so that was a wild few minutes there. So the pick has changed from.
Yep. So I'm just scrolling through the video file right now. I see a lot of 80s tastic outfits.
Yeah,
nice.
Because it's I think it's like Cowboy Scott Hall. He's got like the big massive mustache and everything.
Yeah,
it looks wild.
This is very southern as fuck. This is from the oh my god. The name of the venue is the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. I'm sold.
I was kind of thinking as well, like we do it. I was almost thinking of that that TNA show with the triple threat match of AJ Styles and
Unbreakable.
Yeah,
Unbreakable 2005. Yeah,
I was thinking of doing that one because that's obviously we only done one TNA show and it's like rock bottom and it kind of does it. They probably do a bit better.
Yeah, there's probably a reason for that.
It was the first show. It was not good.
It was not good.
This show's got potential though.
Be number one.
Oh, this looks amazing.
Oh my god, Stan Hansen's on the show. Okay, I'm already sold.
Oh, genius.
Yes.
Fucking great. Yes.
Well, blind, crazy Stan Hansen. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's absolutely get... Oh, yeah, this is going to be amazing. Great. I'm downloading it to my phone as we speak.
There we go.
What can I
Let's
say?
watch this at work.
Is this going to be our first AWA show?
Yeah,
pretty sure it will be.
We need to delve into the history of Mr. Vern Gagne, the man who believed that he owed 90% of whatever you earned.
Exactly. Well, Cameron, when you and Al watch this at work, I want you to be like the Rockers in the thumbnail of the second video.
Wow, yeah, let's...
What, you want us to get them glasses?
And the t-shirts, obviously.
Actually, I think there's a pair of Ray-Bans that are like that.
Probably surprised me.
There you go. Actually, that's better than if you skip to 54 seconds in that video clip. I don't know if I'd prefer that or that.
What, in the AWA one?
Seconds.
Unfortunately, I've got about 4 minutes of adverts before I can get to that first.
Oh, I've got premium, so I don't have that problem.
Oh, look at you.
Oh my god.
You've got Scott Hall with a moustache, which is disturbing and should be illegal.
Scott Hall in his Tom Selleck years.
He looks fucking enormous as well.
He was jacked as shit, man.
That's worse. Kurt Hennig just looks normal.
Oh, fantastic! I found a written review of it.
Oh,
I love reading books in pubs. So I might have to. That might be my my Grand National reading for tomorrow.
There you go.
Brilliant.
There you go. Well, I'm glad I could help you guys. I'm glad you guys started that, and that we didn't get a spoiler for that later in the year. So that's good.
Anyway,
let's wrap up.
Yeah, let's. I'd imagine the music will be playing out.
It's been playing for a while now, I think.
I don't know what music we're going to go this week. What was it last week?
We're going back 29 years. Wait, no, 39 years. Holy shit.
39 years.
Yeah.
What was it last week? I had the two Ronnies last week. We before that was big. Was it Black Bart? Yeah, Black Bart. Yeah, that was good music, guys.
Yep. I think we need a bit of Sunrise Stan Hansen's music next month. I demand.
Yeah, well, right now, All American Boys. That's what we're going out to.
Yes.
Sweet ass, man. Sweet ass.